Okay, so I'm going to project what we will be looking at today. We'll be looking at power function, product function, sum product function, ceiling function, and then we will attempt to maybe create a data that will help us to do filtering and then do the other work that we need to do in this module 3, which is all about data management. All right, so power function. What is power function? Is when a number is raised to a power greater than 1. Say 2 raised to power 2. The answer is 4. 2 raised to power 3 is 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. So it becomes difficult if you have any mathematical operation that involves power to up to 10 or so. But in a second, Excel can perform that function for you. And then the product function. We know sometimes I've seen people making a budget. They'll say if column A,
Sorry, you're
maybe,
not projecting anything. No. Hello?
yes.
Did you do anything on that power function?
No, I'm
The
just
only thing I'm
explaining them.
saying is just the...
Yes, I'm just explaining them, and then I'm going to begin to operate them one after the other. Once I
One after the
project,
other, okay.
yes, once I project the Excel, I won't come back here. I would have explained what each means. So that's what I'm trying to do. And then for this product function, we have seen some budgets where we have unit cost and the number, and then possibly the number of days or the number of persons. And then we see when we want to get the total, we will click this point, multiply by this point, multiply by this point, and then we drag down. If you have up to 5 columns that you need to multiply like that, you can simply write product and then drag the cells that you want and enter. So product is the same thing as multiplication of a cell with another cell or group of cells. Then the sum product is telling you, you multiply this, and then go to another point, multiply this, and let me have the total. For instance, I am Samson, there is Victor. Both of us are embarking on a trip, and I need to say, we need to be given some money, and the money that should be given to us, Victor has to earn the number of days that is going times the unit cost of lodging times the unit cost of the number of nights. So you have the value, you have the quantity, and then you have another thing that you are multiplying, and then you are supposed to add it to Samson's own, and then probably another person's own. So with some product, you will identify which columns are the first multiplication, which second one is the second part you are multiplying. Just select them as range. It does that multiplication, and adds them together for you. That is some product function. Then ceiling function. For instance, that plays out very much when we are looking for average. And then in average, assuming it is human beings that you are looking at, one is one person here, another person there, 5. Then another person there is 1 plus 5, 6, plus 2. That's 7. And then you are dividing this 7 by 3. you will start having 3.5, which is the average. When you are dealing with human beings, you don't have point. Okay? So it's either you will assume they are 3 or 4. And other things that you don't want to have fractions, you can use ceiling to bring just a number of decimal places. So if you want 0, it removes the point for you. And if your if you are dealing with something that is very, very precise, that you can have up to 0.1112. So if the operation allows that, you can use your ceiling function to get the decimal point. So these are some of the things. There are several functions. So what I usually advise is, once you know how to go to a function, you will type what you want to do. Excel will try to predict and try to give you a suggestion of what you want. And it gives you a guide. We are going to look at that shortly. Okay, so with that, this is just a brief description of what each function means. So now let's go straight and then do a practical work on them. Let me, which one of these? Okay, let me project this one, which we started with some time back. Okay, so just forget about the questions. We are not dealing with the questions, but we want to see if we can use any of the data. So the first one that we want to look at is power function. So I can't remember if it was in another session that I asked what is if the cost of, okay, now let me see here. Okay, so let's just generate this thing. What is the value of 5 raised to power 5? You know, when you are dealing with table, it's always good to have this thing if what you are doing does not have to do with that table. Okay, so let me just get this. Okay, so yeah, it's good for us to mute everyone so that please let us just go by sending chat. I am taking the pain to toggle between that and this. Okay, so here, I don't know the kind of work we individually do at our workplaces. It may be the things that involve power functions, it may be the thing that do not, but it's good. I have selected some of these functions that will help us in doing part of what I think that we are doing. So if what you do on daily basis does not require the use of power function, well, just good that you know it. And if it does, good that you are knowing it. So we are asking, what is the value of 5 raised to power 5? So it's going to be 5. And there is a function here. I don't know how your keyboard looks like. For my own, number 6, that is the button on my keyboard that has 6. There is something that is on top, which if I press my shift and hit that number, it gives me this inverted V, which is showing that it's raised to power. And so our own is say 5. So this is how power function is used. 5 raised to power 5. Already we may know the answer, but Excel will tell us this is it. So let us try and see if so here we have 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have all this here. This is 5 of them. Here is, look at my formula bar here, 5 raised to power 5. And we know that 5 raised to power 5 is the same thing as 5 times 5 times 5 times 5. So since we have learned that product is something times something times something. So let's say we are looking for products. You see my product here, and I'm going to select all this rather than putting. Why are we getting a different thing? 5 times 5 times 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Why are we having? Okay, so I didn't select all here. Okay. So 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 is the same thing as product. I select all of them. So you see, if I have 100 places, now let us make this. I actually tell people that Excel helps you. This is quite large. Okay, so I am seeing this. It's giving me a figure that I don't understand. So I simply come here, change it to number. And to make this easy for me, I can put this comma so that I can separate to know whether this is a million or billion or trillion. So this has helped me now to know. So if this is, remember this is 5 raised to power 20. Now, if I have, that means I should have, is this up to 20? How many is this? 20. Okay. So assuming we have this now, this is what we have, and you are supposed to multiply this. The traditional way would have been to say here is equals to this times, if somebody can time me, you will know how long this is going to take me typing this individually, and it becomes tedious. If I were to use the other one, I would have done that already, and so forth and so on. Okay, let's see if we can continue this, sorry. And the tendency of making a mistake because you are typing something else is there. I don't know how long this has taken me to arrive at this point. This is still the same thing that I got here, so I will simply change this to number. But if I were to use the product, I'll simply write product. I'll hit this one and enter. It didn't take me up to 3 seconds to do this. So this is one very good function that we can use to do our work at office. So it's the same thing. If we remember our complex formula, the order of operation, PEMDAS, we are looking at parentheses and then exponential. So you could actually have a complex formula where you have a figure raised to power something. Excel will simply do that for you if you have that in operation. Okay, so that is what we need to know about the power function and the product. Now let's look at some products. Let's do a small budget here. So here we have a name of staff. We have DSA. We have number of days. Okay, so we are done with this. I'm going to delete all this. Okay, so here we have Eno, we have Victor, we have Greg. How many of this thing can I easily? We have amazing. We have amazing. We have Aniet. We have Joshua and several other. I'm trying to remember those ones that I can quickly pick from the attendance sheet here. Okay, Nonju is here. Chioma, Edwin. Okay, Nonju is here. Edwin is here. Chioma is here. So assuming these are all our and yet it's okay. So we can change that correctly. And yet if I don't get it very well, okay. Sorry. Which one now am I sharing? I can't remember it. Okay. How did you say I should spell it again? Sorry. Okay, if I don't get it correctly, that means it may not be your own. Okay, yes, it's actually Annie Etier. Okay, I got it now. Annie Etier, Annie Etier. Good. Okay, so the DSA here is let us use random number, assign it. Say it is between 2,000 naira and 5,000 naira. So if he assigns you different days, different this thing, if he gives you different DSA, please, no, I didn't do it like that. Then I think we are done with here, so I won't have any problem. So the number of days, let's also use round between. It ranges from between 2 days and 8 days. Okay, it gives me this. Then I have another let's say dependence. So assuming what we are going to do, if you have one dependent, the person will earn the same thing you do. So you multiply this also by this and with the number for the number of persons here. Okay, so let me use this. But here now I'm going to between 1 and 3. Okay, so we have this. So now let's just work with this. These are randomly generated number, but I don't want them to keep changing each time I do operation. So I'm going to right click any of the borders of this selection. And right clicking it, you see the mouse shape has changed. I release it, it is like this. See, it comes here, it changes. The moment I right click and hold, it changes. So I'm going to hold and drag away and bring it back to the same position because that is where I want it to remain. And as I'm releasing my right button, this option shows I am going to click here to paste and to paste here as values only, copy here as values only. So just look at this formula bar. The moment I press here, it's no longer going to be this function, rather the numbers will change and it becomes the numbers. So these numbers will no longer change. Okay, remember our auto field. So I double click this to autofill the content. Now here, what we usually do is to say total, right? Or is it value? I can't remember. Remember that here now is Naira. Of course, some of us should be closing our eyes now when changing this to Naira. Okay, let me choose this. I just want 0. So this has turned to this. And so here, let's see amount or value now. Okay, I think it's value now. Those of us who do a lot of budgeting, value here is going to give me now, I will usually say this multiplied by this, multiplied by this, will give us this. And then we drag down here, and then we'll come and get our total here. And then those days, we'll still do this plus this. Some people still do this. But I know that some of us after here will no longer be doing this. It's not that doing this is wrong. It's not wrong, because in Excel there are several ways you can do a thing and you still get the same answer. So this is what we have done, performing different operations. And it's lovely, it's wonderful. Okay? But for me, this is total, right? They usually say this is the grand total, right? Good. So this is this. For me to arrive at this point, I can take less than 10 seconds to arrive at this answer. There's nothing wrong doing all these things. It's just that it takes time. So if I need to do this, since I know that this thing is gotten by multiplying this, I'm multiplying this, and then multiplying all of them, getting this value, and at the end you add them. I can simply go here and say sum product. It's already selected. So it's going to give me array. The first array is this, comma. The second array is this, comma. The third array is this. I'm done. I still get the same answer. So if assuming we have 1,000 staff, this is all I need to do. Within 10 seconds, I'm done. If I have up to 1,000, I want to use this again to answer the question posted by Victor, the issue of auto selection where you are selecting a range. Now, let me delete here. I'm going to say this is sum product. Activate it. I'm clicking here. This is the beginning of my selection. I'm going to hold down my Control and Shift button at the same time. There is the downward key arrow. I'm going to hit it. I'm going to hit it. And then it selects for this one. This is my first ray. Now, if assuming there are 1,000 staff that I want to select their DSA, within 2 seconds, it has selected all of them. I put a comma. And then this is the second array. Shift Control down, comma. Shift Control down, done, and enter. So I need to, where I'm selecting first is the first place. I hold down my Shift, hold down my Control, hit down my downward arrow. Now, if I am selecting horizontally like this, it's the same thing. I assume I want to select like this now. I'm selecting this, the first one. I'm holding down my shift button, holding down my control. I'm going to hit the right arrow, the one pointing to the right. I hit it and it selects them, irrespective of the number of columns on that side. It's going to select all of them. Okay, so now, if we really need to appreciate this, we can have a database that is up to hundreds. We were using one that was 700 and something, but it seems a bit cumbersome to understand. And by the way, please let me also let us know that one of the basic reasons why we are activating that our alumni group for Excel tutorial is because in trying to grasp Excel, please, you do not need to choose so much at a time. You do not need to choose so much at a time. And you do not necessarily need to understand everything under one topic. For instance, it took me several studies from different organizations to be able to understand some of these functions. For instance, what we are teaching in this our tutorial is just maybe it's just about 10% of the different functions available. I think there are over 200 functions or so. Over 200 of them or thereabout, I can't remember. So when you meet somebody who is teaching Excel to engineer students or engineer professionals, the different functions they use, the functions they use are different from what we are using. Accounting, people who are in accounting, there are different functions for accounting systems. So, but these ones that we have selected are the ones that I feel are applicable to what we do on day-to-day basis. They are the basic ones. And that is why what we are doing is the fundamentals. So what I'm trying to say in essence is you do not have to know everything. Even these ones we have selected. That's why we try to make videos. You pick the ones you are able to pick and then go and study them, go and revise them, give yourself work, try to generate questions from what you do and try to see if you are able to solve this. Now, even Microsoft does not have the answers to everything. Sometimes you will see some people who have developed add-ons. For instance, now there is a software that I use in my system that if I have 30 sheets, as we have here, these different sheets, I can come here and lock all of them at the same time. See what's going to happen now. I'm going to look at this protect sheet now. By the time I group this sheet 1 up to sheet 3, click your review, you see the protect is hidden because Excel, Microsoft did not do this for you to protect multiple sheets at the same time. No. And if you want to do it, you need to get a software. So the software that I am using is this Kutul. So if I select this multiple, there are 4 of them. I click my, is it here now? See it, protect worksheet. I can protect all the 4. And this has been very useful to me when I have to analyze facilities in the 36+1 states in the country. I use this and I perform operation across all the sites. So what I'm trying to say is that even Excel does not have all the solutions to the problems you will be encountering in your workplace. So, but when you come up by practicing and creating problems from your workplace to see how you can solve them with Excel, you ask, they will be able to tell you, well, this thing Excel does not have that. There are several things that you encounter in Excel that Microsoft did not think about before making those things. Or it is possible that they thought about it, but there was no way. I don't know, but some of them are currently not available. So you need to get some apps that will help you to do those operations. So what I'm trying to say in essence is give yourself work, try to generate some problem from your workplace. If what we have learned is not able to solve those problems, ask the question. If it is something we have, we will do it. If it's something where we need to research, we will research and show it. So the bottom line is that nobody is a complete expert, say he knows it all in Excel. So please, when we are studying, when we get our homework, please do it. Even if there is no homework, try to generate questions on your own. Okay, so Olusegun, you're asking how you can get the Kutu Plus. Yes, I will let you know. I think if I remember, I bought it $36 or something like that. Okay, at the end of this thing, probably I will share it in the Telegram class. Okay, so that is all about some product. It has a very wonderful use when you are performing this kind of large database budgeting. Okay, the other thing that we need to look at is the ceiling. Okay, so we mentioned this, and let's see if we are to generate okay, let's say car. Okay, no, this now let us just generate something here. I was developing one with state. Let me see if I can open my database management where I have the states. Okay, let me see, what do I want to do here? Let me stop sharing that and then share this one. What is it? Our database management. Okay, so we have this during the course of our, maybe today, our second part of today's meeting, we can still discuss how I generated this. Okay, so assuming I'm trying to look at, these are the states, and each state is associated with its region. Each state is associated with each region. Rivers is in south-south, Oyo is in southwest, Anambra is southeast, Oshun is southwest. Okay, so I arranged this, and this is for January, for instance, day 1 of January, day 2, day 3, and so forth and so on. Okay, and average. Now, I put this average that it should just give me one decimal place. So if I'm going to remove this average, and sorry, I'm going to remove this, my ceiling, it's going to be just the average. Okay, it's going to be the average. So this is the average, whatever these things are. Assuming these are the infections, coronavirus infection, January 1st, Akwa Ibom recorded one. Please, this is not true statistics. This is fictitious statistics that I just generated. I'm not saying this is true, okay? It was just generated for the purpose of the tutorial. So assuming we have on day 1, this is what we have. Anambra has this, has this, has this. And so This is the same thing for all the 36 plus 1 states. And then I say, what is the total for the day? The total here is 955 cases. So in our case, we have recorded 955 cases of this infection. And then the average, the daily average, the average for today is 25.81. Let's see if we have more of it. Okay, so we continue. It's quite long. It's up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 decimal points. And then the minimum, okay, the minimum that was recorded, the state that has the minimum, we can identify this when we use our operation. Of course, we all know how to apply the minimum. Okay, so on daily basis, we have this minimum. We apply this minimum. Okay, so this row tells us on daily basis what value is the minimum. And then here, we use our maximum to tell us the spike, which state had the spike. Now, what this is telling us is that the highest number is 49. Later in this course, we'll be able to do what we usually do when we either go to the library or we take up our telephone directory or staff directory, and then we say, okay, we are looking for Samson Emelike. Of course, you know what you're looking for is usually the beginning, and it is arranged alphabetically, so that if you're looking for S, you skip A, go down to S, and you see Samson. You place your hand on the Samson and begins to look on that row where Samson is. That row with the record where Samson record is. You look for his telephone number. If you're looking for his telephone number, you look for his physical address, you look for his email, you look for any data you are looking for. We have a function that you can instruct Excel. Please go to this table, go to this directory, look for this name. When you see the name, go to this column. The column that we are looking for is the column of telephone. And that column is a so column, either column 3 or column 4. Then just give us the telephone number. And Excel goes to that same record, to that same directory. There might be 1 million persons there. He goes straight there and picks it within 5 seconds that you have imputed that. So with time, we are still going to look at that. So what this is telling us here in this spike is that the number is 49. However, it is possible that there are more than one state that records 49. So when you now apply a function to say, give me the state that has 49, it might bring one state, it might in another time, it may bring another one. It is selecting to tell you, okay, this is this. So if there are 5 of them, you can also find out. In statistics, when we talk about mode, I think we are talking about, is it how many times a number is occurring? Please, can someone unmute and let me and remind me of that? Mode is number of time a number or a thing is occurring, right, in a series.
Yes, I think frequently occurred. Yeah.
Okay.
How many times it occurs?
Yeah, the
Okay.
frequently occurred.
Frequency of occurrence.
Okay, the frequency of occurrence. Now, what about the highest occurring, the one that has the highest frequency? What is the name?
I think it's still mode.
It's still mode,
That's
right?
the highest frequency.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's still mode. Yeah,
Okay,
mode.
okay. Now, I want us to apply something now. There's something I want to also let us know. I want to work in this table now. This is a table. You know, it ended somewhere here. So I'm just zooming out so that we have a holistic picture of the entire table. Now, I want to, you may not know where the thing gets to, but I want to just select everything at once. I want to select everything at once. From here, I have inserted an empty row here. So I have commanded Excel to see this as a table different from this. Without this empty row, it will see this as part of this table. Okay, so I want to select this entire table, and I don't want to just do like this and then start going and then going down. Maybe there are several of them, down, 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 down. Okay, so I just want to get one simple thing. I think if I can remember, this is Control Shift 8. Yes, Control plus Shift plus 8. It highlights all the entire table. Okay, so this is where I want to apply my filter. I come under data, I apply my filter. Good. Now, I want us to filter. I want to find out, let's filter for 18 here. Oh, when we come here, we are filtering for 18. Let me unclick this and put 18. Let's see how many states. Okay, so it's only one state that has 18 on day one. Good. So it is easy for us to find out the state here that has that 18. Good. Then let us look for 49. How many states had 49? Okay, equals to 49. Okay, so it's only Oyo that has 49. So this is easy for us to find out which state is Oyo. I mean, which state has this. So if in a case where we have this, can we find out what function we can use to get this? We haven't done that. That is Vlookup. So we are going to tell Excel, please take this number and look in this array. Wherever you see this number, go to so and so column and give us the name. It is because of that here you will see that here is the state, this is the region. We also have the same this side, because when we are going to be dealing with a V function, what you are looking for must be the beginning of the table. Just like if you are looking for something, you look for something in the column. That means that that table or that directory is arranged according to names. So whatever you are looking for must be located in the first column of that table. The reason why I'm saying this even before we go there is because when I first started learning lookup references, I ran into problems because I would generate table and then I will not remember that what I'm looking for should be first of all on the first column, and secondly, it is arranged in an order. It can be ascending order or it can be descending order. So I just want to bring that to our notice so that when we are dealing with that, you will not run into problems. Okay, so when we come to that, we'll be able to find out which state has the highest spike, which state had the lowest infection, and then of course, everybody, this you would not really need to know average. This is for everybody. Okay, so I wanted to talk about ceiling function here, and I can actually nest it. I can actually combine two or more functions. I have this average here, but I also want to reduce this thing to only one decimal point. Okay, so I come here. I am going to click my cursor here, and I'm going to start typing selling. Sorry, selling. I'm interested in this one. See it on screen tip. It rounds a number up to the nearest multiple of significance. So this is what I want. Once I activate it, it's asking you for the number. For me, I've gotten the number, and that number I got was the average. So this entire function will give me that number which I want. So because that is what I want, I am putting a comma. So it's telling you, okay, what significance are you looking for? Now we are going to test them one after the other. If we put 0 here, what happens? Okay. Now, this has also helped us to know that this ceiling, we need to put a closing bracket. You know, like I was telling us that it is with performance, you attempt, you make errors, and then you'll be able to identify those functions that you must close the bracket after you have done it, and those ones you don't need to close the bracket. For this one, we need to close the bracket. And because it's simply closing a bracket, Excel is helping you. So you say we found a typo in your formula and try to correct it to this. The difference between this and what I have here is that there is a closing comma. So I will accept, and then it gives me this. Now, what does this mean? I am telling it to raise it to give me no significance. If that is what you want, fine. Now let's change this to 1. It gives us. So you see that actually from the beginning, there was a point something, 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 something. But because we are specifying 1, it is not, there is nothing after the point. Now, if we increase this to 2, what is it giving us? Is it giving us the same thing? That wasn't what we got. Let me see, 3. Okay, so what is happening is that originally, now let me remove the ceiling so that we can get the figure. Sorry. This was the figure that we got, right? So I'm going to copy this and just paste here the value. Okay. So I'm going to place here the value. This is what we have, so that we'll be comparing it with our operation. Okay, good. So I am back here. I am putting ceiling here. Sometimes this rounds a number up to the nearest integer or to the nearest multiple of significance or whatever on screen that you are getting. You may not really understand it until you begin to do the operations and you understand them. So that is what I want us to do now. For me, I didn't really understand what it's talking about. Okay, so I'm not looking for the maths, I'm just looking for the ceiling, which is this one, So I come here. So it's asking me for significance. I first of all put 0. I close my bracket because I was asked to put closing bracket. It's giving me 0. Why is this thing returning to 0? Why is it telling me this is 0 after I put 1? That means I want to assume maybe there is nothing that should be here. I don't know. So assuming we put -1 here, can this be accepted? Okay, it's an error number. Okay, so now let's proceed from 0 to 1. Can we see that the original number 25.8 is now 26 because we put 1 here. The reason is this one is up to 5. So you can convert this 8 to 1. Adding 1 to here, it becomes 26. So if we are using decimal places, I want to know if this decimal place means, please, it should only be 1 here. Whatever that is, it should only be 1. Whatever that is there. Why is this thing doing like this? Okay, sorry. Whatever that is outside this, after this point, look at the value. If it is up to 5, convert it and place here. Maybe that is 1. Maybe that's why we are seeing 26 here. Now, if we change this significance to 2, now is 26. But before, so what's the difference now between 21 and 26? I mean, between 1 here and 2. Now, if we have maybe this one that we saw here, 1 is 26, and we put 2 is still 26. Maybe it's looking at the next one here. What does it tell you? Okay, so when we look at this 2, is it up to 1? It's not up to 1. That is, well, when we talk about significance, those of us who are gurus in mathematics, Utulu, what is significance when we talk about significance in mathematics? Okay, so I'm trying to find out if it is the same thing as significant figure. If significant figure is the same thing as a decimal point. So this has to do with significant point. So if we put 3 here, okay, it's 27 now. If we put 4, it's 28. Can we see what's happening? As we are changing this thing, 5, it's 30. So I need somebody to tell me, I can't remember what significance function is. No, ceiling function and average, they are not the same, please. Ceiling is the closest whole number of significance. That's what I want to find out. I can't remember my arithmetics again. Is it arithmetic or mathematics? Where we are talking about significance and the decimal point. I can't remember that again. Okay, so don't worry. We are going to share this video if your network has been bad. Okay, so that is what the ceiling does for you. For me, I usually use it to eliminate points where I don't want points. And I usually use it to approximate to the nearest. So here, if I put 2, that is okay for me. I usually use 2. If it is not up to that, then leave it. Okay, so what else do we have to? Well, okay, the other one is to introduce us to filtering. Okay, so I just want to let us know how we can get help from Excel when we are using functions. Now, I'm going to use this one. I've put plus here. I'm going to click here, this function. I actually clicked here and I clicked that function. So Excel is asking me, what do you want to do? Can you give us a brief description of what you want to do? and then click go. You don't know what function you want to use, but you have an idea of what you want to operate. Say we want to look at significance. So let's say we want to look for significance. We click go. It tells you these are all the different functions that deal with significance. Okay, now when you click anyone, when you highlight anyone, it's telling you it rounds a number up to the nearest multiple of significance. Now, the rounding up, if you choose 1, it's giving you multiples of the 1. If you choose 2, it's giving you the multiples of the 2. If you choose 3, it's giving you the multiples, the 3 multiples. Okay, so with this understanding, let us see what was happening here. Originally, it was 25.8. And when we put 2 here, we are saying the 1, let's just assume we are saying we want the multiple, the significance, multiples of 2. Is that possible? Is that the same understanding I have? Please, I want us to reason it. So what we are looking at here is this, and we are looking for significance. And the ceiling, say, rounds a number up to the nearest multiple of significance. Okay, so if we are looking at 6 here, and what we have here is 0.8, are we rounding this up by 1? Are we rounding it up by 2? Okay, so this kind of gives me some confusion in understanding them. But I'm showing you this so that if you read and you're able to understand that, then it will help. So we are looking for function here, significance. Now, what about the second one? The ceiling math. Number significance mode rounds a number up to the nearest integer or to the nearest multiple of significance. If this is what you want, you can apply it. But for me, I don't use that. I only use this ceiling. Okay, so this is how you can. Now, assuming that we want to use this, we say,
Hello.
okay, yes, quick.
Hello?
Yeah. Hello.
Hel-
Hello.
Yes,
Can you
Victor,
hear
go
me?
ahead.
Can you hear me? Yeah. When you are talking of significance, it's only when you are testing hypothesis. That's where we make a reference to significance, because you have a hypothesis you are testing. Then within a significant value. So those are you'll be testing it to the closest to that value. So
Okay, yes, that significance is for in when you are doing studies or epidemiology. But the significance I'm
yes.
talking about here, we did it in mathematics or arithmetic. They say give this answer in 2 significant figures or 3 significant figures. That's the significance that we are talking about here. So if we remember what we were taught in was it primary school, we are always talking about significant figures. The difference between 3 significant figures and 2 decimal point or 3 decimal points. If we understand that, then we'll be able to understand this significance that we are talking about here. Okay, Tonya says significant figures are real integers or digits. Okay, Oladeyinde says significant figure is the number of figures after the decimal point. Okay, you see, so I have this confusion also. The difference between the significant figures, both of them are what I have heard from Oladeyinde and Tonye. To me, they are different. One says is the number of figures after the decimal point. Okay, and Tonye say they are the real integers or digits. So I think I might have to do a research on this to really know the difference between decimal point and significant figures, and which one this one refers to. But for me, what I use this is to remove the number of decimal points. You just round it up to the whole number if it is up to 5 or above 0.5. Okay, so for us to derive more help, we can look at this, the ceiling. So here, what we are looking for now is this. So the figure, they say the significance now is the multiple to which you want to round. Please, can you people confirm if you are seeing this function argument, this pop-up?
Hello? Hello? Hello, sir.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I think about significant figures. Based on my own understanding, is actually trying to just explain numbers after a decimal point. So if you have zeros after a decimal point, those zeros are not significant.
Okay.
But if you have numbers after a decimal point, that number is significant.
Okay.
Yeah. So if now you have, for instance, you have 0.001, those 00 are not significant, but that one is significant.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my own understanding.
Okay, so just a minute, just give me a minute. Let me just okay, so with respect to that, if we have point, for instance, what we have here now, first of all, please, can you people see this function argument, this dialog box? Are you seeing anything?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can see this box, right? Function argument.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I wanted to be sure that it's also projected. All right, thanks. So what we are looking at now is what is this 25.8108? If we say one significant, we're saying that the figure after the point is significant, yes. The second one is also significant. So is that the reason why it's adding it? The third one. Okay, now, so with this explanation, let's see if we can get it. If we put one significant here, it becomes 6. It becomes 26 rather. So that means a point after the number after the point is a real number. Okay, is that why it's adding it 1 to make it 26? Okay, let's see. If we say 2 decimal points is 1 now, and it's still the same 26. Okay, so if we put 3, it's now giving us 27. So I don't understand why we are putting 3. If we say 3 significant figures, 1, 2, 3, it's now giving us 27. So this is one thing I'm going to research so that
I think you multiply it, sir.
You multiply it.
You multiply that part, the part after the decimal point, by 3, and you get 24. So if you multiply 810 by 3, the 8 goes to the point, you get 24. So you're carrying 2 over, so 25 plus 2 is 27. If you were if it was 2 decimal points, when you say 25.8 times 2, 2 times 8 is 16. So you take 1 over, so it's 25 plus 1, that's 26. So your whole number is now 26. So when it's 3 times, that's 8 closest to it, and it's 24. Carry 2 over to the 25 part, and it turns 27. The same thing for 4. If you take it,
Okay.
it becomes higher.
Okay. Yes, I know it has to do something like that. Those days in mathematics, probably primary or secondary school, I can't remember.
2SF, 3SF, 4SF.
Okay,
Nursery school. Nursery school.
Primary school.
Nursery school.
Okay.
Nursery.
Utulu, I know you went to nursery school that was teaching that. That was why I called you that time now. Okay, so guys, significance, we need to really go back to our basics. But like I told you, I use this when I don't want too much points in my distance. I just get it there, convert it to the nearest distance, and then boom, we are gone. Okay, so I'm also showing us this so that we can learn from the help features Excel has. It's taking you through as we are changing these figures. It's giving you the answers, and so you begin to imagine or begin to reason why is it giving you this answer, so you'll be able to have a better understanding. This also was what I did those days to build my knowledge of these functions. All right, so I think that is that for that. It's already past 12, so
I asked a question. Where did you get that function argument from?
okay, function. I said wherever you want to put your equal sign or where you want to put your function, click the place. For us, we want to put it here, and I say equals. So I come here. This is my formula bar. You will see here, insert function. Is it? It is written on the strip there, insert function. Can you read it? Insert function. So what is this now? You enter. What is this? You cancel. So I want to enter a function. I simply click this, and then this comes up. So here, you are supposed to type what you want to do. So for me, I know there's something that has to do with significance. So I started typing significance so that it can help me to bring out the functions that deal with significance. So if I want to say I want to look up. So look up is going to give me the functions that have to do with functions. And you see, these are the things that we were going to look at. This one and probably this one. This one we don't have much. Most of the things we deal with, most of the documents we deal with, do not usually come in a format that we may apply Vlookup, but we still look at them. So these are the things. So if you want to look anything again, let's say round. Assuming you want to look at you need to round something, so you can round up or you can round something. You can round a figure down. You can round it up. You can have an M round. Okay, you can have ceiling. Okay, these are the different distance that you can do. So take time, click anyone, then begin to play with it. You will be able to get something useful. Okay, so this is how we build this thing using the help function embedded in Excel functions, Excel spreadsheet. Okay, so I think we are done for today, for this morning rather. In the evening, we are going to build a database that we can use to do the next set of work that we are going to be doing, database manipulations. How we'll be able to build a database. How do we activate data validation in cells? How do we do custom filtering? I don't know. We are 14 now. I don't know if some have left. Well, I think I need to stop because we actually said it's going to stop by 12. So we are going to do a lot of things when we come back later in the evening. Do custom sorting, filtering, okay? And then, okay, subtotal. Where are we supposed to do subtotal? Where are we supposed to do subtotal? Let me see. Okay, we didn't do subtotal now. Is it in, let me see. Okay, there's one key this thing I wanted us to do. Subtotal. I don't know where is that function occurring that. Okay, let me just discuss a subtotal. Donat is asking, and amazing, they are asking, where did the function argument come from? I have answered that. Is insert function the same as function argument? No, insert function is you want to, for instance, you want to type sum if. You press equals, and then you start typing sum if. If you don't want to type it, you can just go and insert it. And you use insert where you have an idea of the function, but you don't know the full name. Or you have an idea of what you want to do, you don't know the function. So you now type so that Excel will help you to identify or give you a list of functions that may help you do what you want to do. But if you are writing function argument or you understand the full function you are looking for, you understand how it operates, you just go straight and type it. So that's the difference. So I just want to take 5 minutes to talk about subtotal. I don't know what happened. It's something. I think I must have missed it. Subtotal. Subtotal. I missed it out in what I was talking about. Okay, so subtotal is very, very key, please. It's very, very key. Let me stop sharing this, and then let me look for another one that I'm going to share, and then we'll briefly.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
It's like some people have left. I don't know whether we can close now, then start with that on the
Okay.
evening
Okay.
session.
Okay. No problem. No problem. So let's just close for this session. So thank you, guys. See you later in the evening. Enjoy your break.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
I think when you guys are coming back, please bring tea break.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
You have to give
Alright.
us tea break. Come with the tea break for us.
Okay, no wahala. You know this kind of acceptance,
I'm
no
possible
be
palliative.
problem.
Not to palliative.
Palliative, Abi.
Yes, now.
Okay, not to worry.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.